15th, and my name is Alejandro Zambrano, and welcome to our daily market update here on investingcube.com. Just click here on webinars if you ever want to join us, if you're watching the recording here, and we host this webinar at 9:30 a.m. Only thing though, I just forgot to update that little chat box. So we'll do that now, and then we're gonna take a look at the charts. So just give me a few seconds. Actually, let's just do it without the chat box today, so we don't lose too much time. And we'll begin with the euro. So the euro reached the sell zone yesterday, and is pushed into the sell zone, and it's now looking to move away from the sell zone. Overall, the markets are a bit choppy. You need to be extremely selective to what you trade. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with my outlook that this is a bearish market from below 111.16, and as long as you're below this level, I think we can probably go lower. Of course, in the very short term, we're still dealing with the short term option. You have that low here, so we probably need to clear this low, which is 110.52, before this market really turns bearish. Of course, I ignore all these short-term levels and just focusing on the big picture, and knowing the fact that below this level may take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or a whole month. As long as you trade below this level, it will be a bearish downtrend, and we could potentially revisit the October 15th low. GBP versus the USD. We're just trading sideways. You know, it had a bit of a push in the early morning. This evening will be a debate on ITV between this evening on ITV, which is the TV channel. There's going to be a live debate between Jeremy Corbyn and sitting Prime Minister Boris Johnson. As you know, there's going to be election in the UK on December 12th. So there's going to be some conversations there, and people are going to see who wins that debate, and that could potentially give a bit of a hint of what may happen with the election, kind of, you know. Later on Friday on BBC Question Time, I think it is, there's going to be talks with Jeremy Corbyn, Prime Minister Johnson, and Lib Dems leader and SNP's leader. So that's going to come out later. But for now, this remains just trading sideways, really. You know, we reversed from these levels in the past. It might reverse lower here. I would, however, not short sell here. I mean, we can go down a bit. It looks like we'll trade sideways for longer, but this is very, very high risk. Dollar yen, not much activity here either. I'm just bullish about the November low at 107.87, and I suspect between 108.28 and the low, people will probably try to buy. As for crude oil prices, they're actually under pressure today. So as you know, we're trading sideways within zero range, and the market did try to break a higher here as the week started. Then the market plummeted into support. But as long as you trade above 55.73, then this is an interesting buy opportunity, and we could potentially head upwards. Gold prices, so we touched the sell zone 2 times. As you might remember, when the price took out this level, I said, in fact, we're trading sideways here for many, many days. I said if we take out low, probably head lower. We had the first move completed, and then we had the retest. So we reversed here on the 14th, and then we went back up again yesterday, and we're moving away from that move, or from that little level. Of course, in the short term, we're dealing with a short-term uptrend, and we probably need to take out this low here, which is 1456.42, before this market turns properly bearish. I think when that happens, we'll probably be able to reduce the trend of funding level, which is at 1488.36, take it down to this high here, which is 1476. So that's something we could probably do as soon as we take out this level. Again, I don't know when this is going to roll over, but I do know that as long as we're below this level, we'll probably trade lower. S&P 500 is doing really, really well. So you might remember we've been bullish here, and we're heading towards that upper trend line here. And there's something called a Santa rally. Traditionally, around this time of the year, the markets rally, and they will rally until maybe March, and then after March, this markets turn boring again. And I think what's happening here is a little bit there's obviously people buying, right? The definitely people buying. It's really interesting, actually. I know people that never ever have invested. They're actually contacting me asking, how to buy shares. Happened a few weeks ago. Last time they asked me that, it was summer, I think 2 years ago. I think it was summer here. Is that current thing actually? Yes. So it was summer here when the Swedish stock market was pretty much around these levels. And a friend of mine told me, I want to invest in stocks. I told them, do the safe bet, invest a bit of your money every month, and when you have a big crash of 20, maybe 30%, you double your monthly investments, and then you literally save and save and save, and you use this money, you keep it long term. That's what I suggested to him. He did. He went out and bought everything in one go, and bought some small shares in that they did, I think, crude oil production in northern Iraq, and there was some very small companies which didn't necessarily even have found crude oil at that point. So very highly speculative. And then last year, when he reached out to me, because I was in Sweden in December and the market was here, so the Swedish stock market itself had declined with 16%, but in some of these shares that he held, it was even more down, much more. And the same thing here happened literally like 2 weeks ago when the market was here. Someone reached out to me, a different person that never bought shares, asking me what shares to buy. Gives you a bit of a hint, a little bit, what's happening. And in regards to the S&P 500, I think most professionals are not buying here. The only professionals that are buying are people that went short, and they're probably reducing their positions. That's what I think could happen, because they've been short, wrong-footed, and then this market just went up and up and up. Now, if we use this pitchfork, then the pitchfork tells us we're going to hit that buy spot, or take profit level. German DAX, you can't see it here, but there's a similar channel we're about to reach. So this is not the time to go aggressively long. It's the time to be waiting for a pullback. I know I said it many times. The last very good pullback was this one here, and that worked out good. And then we moved up towards this level here, but this is not the time to buy. I insist on that. We need some bit of a little pullback. I think we're going to reduce the stop loss a tiny bit to something like 3,065. But this is literally, it will hit that target, and then need to be strong enough to walk away. There is another target, which is this ascending triangle, which we discussed in this program as well, with the break here taking up higher. So there's even more targets at a higher levels that could potentially be reached. And I know some people, they bought here, they're just holding and holding and holding, and they're just tracking with stop losses. And right now it's looking really good. And sometimes they hit that perfectly, and they get some amazing risk-reward ratios on those. You do one or two of those, say 3 of those a year, and then that will cover all your small losses. And that's really what they're hoping on, right? And right now it's going really their way. But again, if you're not involved, let's just wait for that pullback. That's what I would have done. Now here's an opportunity to actually do something, and if you do want to trade. So this is the German DAX. The German DAX has literally been trading sideways here since November 5th. And the US stock markets have been increasing, have been gaining, right? So what happens is that this market was lagging behind with, I think, almost 2% at one point. I think yesterday was 178 basis points. Now it's probably less. But here you're having a classic breakout. There are a few ways of trading this. One would be to buy the breakout, which happened here at 13,309. And then, because this is a simple rectangle, I think we can just assume we're going to add another 1.53% more, and maybe even hit that all-time high. The alternative, if you're not already long, is to wait for a correction to the breakout point. Let this close. This is going to close here in 15 minutes. And then maybe down here somewhere, potentially trying to get involved. So that's what I would check. As well, what you can check, you can check at markets that are lagging. So there's definitely some indices out there that have not been starting to trade upwards. There's always a risk to buy the laggard, because what happens is that you get involved in the laggard, you go up a little bit, and then the leaders, in this case Nasdaq, S&P, and Dow Jones, they go down tumbling, and the laggard just collapses even more. Um, but sometimes the laggard actually just catches up. There's no right or wrong here. Ideally, you try to get involved in the leader, but many times you just miss out the leader. So there's not too much to do about that. You can still try the laggard. The important thing in trading many times is just to be consistent. No one knows. You're gonna trade 100 times, and no one knows exactly which trades are gonna be profitable. But if they're constructed correctly, so they're built on sound fundamental principles, like you go for with the trend. It might, even if you trade in the short term, if you go with the trend, you have a decent risk reward ratio. Then as long as you stick with those rules, it tends to work out. It doesn't work out every year though. That's really important to remember. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions. Let me just do like this. So we have Stefan, good morning to you. And we have as well Marvin. So Stefan thinks, what about Palladium? I'm considering to short against the highs. Let's check out Palladium. So this is Palladium. And I remember this one because we talked about it. The idea was to buy here and then for the market to head higher. So it went up, but then it revisited the buy zone. What I would have done here, if I would have bought here, is probably put the stop loss just below here. Now looking at this today, probably be a bit careful, but I reckon, I mean, traditionally when you have a correction, you have like 1, 2, and then maybe a third leg. Fib wise, you can put your fibs like that, and you have these highs here. So maybe we'll go a little bit lower. You know, could be forming a funny looking head and shoulders with left, right shoulder, head. But traditionally, at least according to elevator theory, we should have we go up like that, and then you have that change, which is the A, then you get the B, and you get the C wave. And a lot of people, especially A layout wave technicians, they love trying to figure this out. In fact, they also try to just grab that high. I personally don't like to trade that move. I like to trade this move here, the breakout, or like in the S&P, that move. That's what I like to trade. That's what I feel comfortable with. You might potentially be able to get away with it in Palladium. So I can do like this. I can share with you my short-term view, and then I can just tell you what the levels are in the short term. So these are the short-term levels. So if you want to be assuming that this was the high, we can always just take fibs like this. You see we created 50%, and this little area here and here seems to be a very important level for this market, like this low and like that. Might be able to get away, maybe do something like this, and probably maybe selling here somewhere. I hope that helps. We have Marvin as well in the chat box. Good morning to you, sir. Guys, by the way, we have a special webinar coming up. It's coming up tonight actually, and oh, wrong button. There we go. So I have a special webinar. It's called Minimum Effort, Maximum Results, Low Upkeep Trading Strategies. And if you want to join me for that or register, that's the link for that. You find it in the chat box right now. You're most welcome to join me. It's free to join, just need to register. As well, I don't know if you noticed, but now on InvestingCube, most of the content is free again. The guys, so we're running a bit of a test. where everything was locked and you can read 5 a week. But we reverted back to the old setup, so you can actually read most of the content. If there's something that is not there, you can always just register. So you will usually see, if it's like that, you just need to register, and if you want to keep on reading, you can usually just scroll lower. It's very straightforward like this. As well, so you know, we have an online trading summit. So I invited a few people I know, Sekmir, Glenn Goodman, Charlie Burton, and Ian and Angeline, which is our newest member of the Investing Cube team, and myself. So we're gonna be speaking. Here are the different topics. It happens on a Saturday, so everybody can join in, and the link is there as well. There's a different registration to the normal membership, so you need to register here as well if you want to become, if you want to join this event. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap things up. I don't have any more questions. If you have any questions during the day, just reach out to me via Twitter at AlexFX00. That's the link for that as well. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and retweet the video. Thank you, and bye-bye. Cheers.